Have you ever stopped to think, I mean really think, about how much of your life is now basically digital?
It's almost everything, isn't it?
Yeah, booking a holiday, checking your kids' school stuff, even getting, critical health results. So much relies on these digital systems.
It really does.
But what happens when that digital fabric, our whole online world gets, well, it gets torn or turned upside down?
That's the crucial question.
So today, we're taking a deep dive into something that's constantly shaping our lives, often without us uh, fully realizing just how much. Cybersecurity. Our mission today is really to cut through the noise. We'll look at some real-world incidents from your sources and try to understand why cybersecurity isn't just for the tech experts. It's for every single one of us.
Yeah.
Every day.
What's truly fascinating here, and something our sources make incredibly clear, is how deeply digital security is woven into our daily lives now. We're talking everything from, well, your personal data, right up to how entire cities function. We're going to connect those dots for you. Show how something that might seem like a distant tech problem is actually fundamental.
Fundamental to how society works.
Exactly, to keeping essential services running, protecting you personally, all of it.
Okay, so your sources describe cybersecurity not like a one-time fix, like a patch you just install and forget about.
No, not at all.
They call it an endurance race. It's this constant evolving challenge. Always needs attention, adaptation.
That's a great way to put it, an endurance race.
And here's something interesting from the sources. Why does AI, artificial intelligence, grab all the headlines? It captures our imagination so much more than cybersecurity.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Even though cybersecurity has been impacting us for, well, just as long, maybe longer.
It's definitely longer in some ways.
Now, this next bit from your sources really makes you think about how we see these things. Tools like ChatGPT, they're so accessible now. You can just open your browser and use AI. It feels tangible.
Right. You can play with it directly.
But cybersecurity, it often feels distant, complex, maybe a bit geeky, as one source put it, like it's just for the IT department.
And that perception gap, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's actually quite dangerous. Because cybersecurity isn't some niche topic. It's fundamental. It's part of what we call the naturalization of digital life.
Naturalization of digital life.
Yeah.
What does that mean exactly?
Think about it like this. Our digital identities, our online activities, they're as real now as our physical selves, and maybe just as vulnerable.
Okay.
So a breach isn't just, oh, some data leaked. It can hit your ability to work, to travel, even get healthcare. It affects, the physical integrity of a person, the basic operation of a company, the functioning of a city.
Wow.
We're talking about the foundations of how we live and interact now in the 21st century.
So when we talk cybersecurity, it's not abstract tech talk. It's really about your life, your safety, your ability to just function.
Absolutely. And it's becoming clear it's a collective responsibility, too. We all need to be aware.
Yeah. Let's make it concrete. There's an example in your sources from Castilla y León in Spain, a huge data breach.
Yes, that was significant.
Millions of records, students, parents, teachers. And not just names and emails, right?
No, much more sensitive. Things like DNI numbers, which for listeners maybe outside Spain, that's like your national ID or social security number, plus postal addresses, phone numbers, emails.
The really core stuff. And what's worrying is it wasn't immediately known, was it? It took weeks to confirm.
Weeks, leaving potentially millions vulnerable without even knowing they were exposed. And this brings up a really important question, especially now with AI booming. What can criminals actually do with all that raw data?
Yeah, because it's often bits and pieces, isn't it? A number here, an email there.
Exactly. And historically, connecting those dots, processing huge amounts of scattered info, that was hard work. Required a lot of manual effort, specialized skills.
Right.
But now, with AI, those processes are incredibly agile. AI can extrapolate links, standardize formats, exploit data points that seem unrelated way faster.
So it turns messy data into usable intelligence for them.
Precisely. Making identity theft, really clever phishing attacks, financial fraud, all of it far more efficient and far more dangerous. It's not just stealing data anymore, it's weaponizing it with speed and precision we haven't seen before.
That's the scary part, isn't it? You can change a password.
Yeah.
But your DNI number, your name, date of birth, once that's out, it feels like it's out forever.
It does feel that way.
Is there anything you can do? Any real control over data that just doesn't change? What does this all mean for you, listening?
That feeling of helplessness is understandable, but our sources do point to some things we can control, surprisingly effective things, actually.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, just being more mindful, thinking when and where you give out sensitive data, like the hotel example your sources mentioned.
Ah, yes, the ID copy.
Right. Hotels need to record certain details, sure, but they often don't legally need to photocopy your entire DNI or passport. They just need specific info.
So push back a bit.
Right.
Don't just let them copy if they don't truly need to.
Exactly, because that copy is another potential weak spot. Second, think about using email aliases. Services like Apple's Hide My Email or others let you create unique, disposable emails for different services.
Ah, so if one gets compromised.
You just delete that alias. It cuts off that specific attack route without exposing your main email or linking everything together. It's like a peel switch for that service.
That's clever.
And looking ahead, cryptography might give us even more fine-grained control. Imagine digital switches where you grant temporary access to just one piece of data, like verifying you're over 18 without giving your full birth date, and then you revoke it.
Wow, really specific control.
That's the potential future. True granular control over who sees what and for how long.
Now, your sources also talk about how we perceive these things. We see these massive headlines, like 16 billion credentials exposed.
Huge numbers.
And your first thought is just overwhelmed, right? It's like, what's the point? We're all hacked anyway. It's almost too big to mean anything.
It is overwhelming. And what's fascinating there, as your source explains, is that 16 billion number wasn't one single massive new hack.
Oh.
It was actually a compilation. Lots of older, previously leaked databases, some years old, all gathered together in one giant collection.
Ah, so it's old data being repackaged.
Largely, yes. Now, it's still incredibly dangerous because it makes criminals' jobs easier. Everything's in one place for them. But it shows how these huge hyperbolic headlines can almost desensitize us.
Right. You see the big number, maybe think it's old news, and you either get complacent or just feel hopeless.
Exactly. But then there's the flip side. If we always dismiss the headline number, do we become too complacent? It's a tricky balance, isn't it? Analyzing critically but staying vigilant, because the threat, even from aggregated old data, is still very real.
That's a really key distinction, because even if some data is old, the real-world impact of breaches, well, it's anything but abstract. Your sources mention a terribly sad case for the UK, the NHS.
Yes, a very sobering example.
A patient's death in 2024 potentially linked to a cyber attack because it knocked out diagnostic services.
Yeah.
Specifically, blood analysis. Critical delays happen.
It brings it home starkly, doesn't it?
It's not just data. It's literally life and death.
And if we connect that to the bigger picture, that tragedy just underscores the absolute need for resilience in systems, especially critical services like healthcare.
Resilience meaning backup plans.
Yes, robust emergency plans, alternative procedures for when digital systems fail, because they will fail sometimes, attack or otherwise. It's not just about getting the data back later, it's about keeping the service running.
Service continuity.
Exactly. How long can blood tests be offline before lives are impacted? Hours, days. Every critical organization needs a clear, actionable answer to that. Maybe manual systems, maybe distributed backups. It's about functionality right now.
Let's shift focus slightly. Another big incident in your sources. The attack on Melilla, the autonomous city in North Africa.
Yes, that really brought a city to a standstill.
Imagine your whole city's administration. Digital services for taxes, public records. Just gone. The disruption must have been immense.
It was. And your sources indicate this ransomware attack might have started from something incredibly simple, or seemingly simple.
What was that?
A city employee connecting to the city systems from a personal device, an unsecured device, while they were outside the city.
Oh, wow. Human error again.
It points to that vulnerability, yes, but also it highlights how sophisticated the threats are. The attack was attributed to a group called Killing, which sources linked to Russia. They claimed they destroyed Melilla's infrastructure.
They claimed.
Well, criminal groups often exaggerate their impact, but the attribution itself, suggesting potential state links, raises the stakes enormously. It makes a city's IT problem potentially geopolitical.
And here's something else your sources mention that's, well, it's kind of chilling. A professionalization of cybercrime. They talk about access brokers.
Yes, that's a key part of the ecosystem now.
So these groups, their only job is to get inside systems, stealthily get access, check it works, and then sell it.
Exactly. Sell that access to other criminal groups, often ones with more resources or specific aims, like deploying ransomware.
So that employee's connection in the Melilla case, It might not have been the ransomware group that found it. It could have been an access broker who found the weak link and sold it on.
That's entirely plausible. It means attacks aren't always specifically targeted from the start. Attackers might just be looking for any vulnerability they can find and then monetize through this underground economy. Which brings us to an important question, really for everyone, organizations and individuals. What do we learn from Melilla?
Okay, what are the takeaways?
First, you just can't lower your guard. Ever. The threat landscape keeps changing. It's that endurance race we talked about.
Right.
Second, strong access policies are crucial. Only use authorized, secure, probably corporate-issued equipment for sensitive systems. It feels inconvenient sometimes, but...
It prevents that accidental open door.
Precisely. And third, organizations need better monitoring. They need to catch those weak signals, the tiny indicators, weird login times, odd data movements that suggest an attack might be starting long before it blows up.
Proactive detection, not just reaction.
That's the goal.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about AI helping the criminals, making it easier for them to use our data against us.
Unfortunately, yes.
But could AI actually help us, help you protect your data? Your sources suggest maybe there's an opportunity here.
There is, actually, a rather empowering one. Think about those dreaded terms and conditions.
Ugh, the endless pages nobody reads.
Exactly. Who has the time or, frankly, the legal expertise to wade through all that?
Nobody.
But now you can use generative AI, like ChatGPT or similar tools. Copy that dense legal text, paste it in, and ask the AI to summarize it for you.
Really?
Yeah. Ask it to highlight the key points, especially look for red flags about how your data will be used. You could ask, does this service share my data with third parties? Or can they use my photos or posts to train their own AI?
So you're not just blindly clicking agree anymore.
No. You're making an informed choice. It's a chance to actually take back some control, maybe control we gave away too easily with things like website cookies or endless email signups in the past.
That's actually really useful. Put some power back in your hands.
It does. And beyond the terms and conditions, also actively check your privacy settings, especially on social media, but other services too. Look specifically for options about AI training.
Can you tell them not to use your stuff for AI?
Increasingly, yes. Many platforms are adding those opt-outs. If you have that option, use it. It's another layer of protection, limiting how your personal information gets fed into these huge data models. Think of it as another tool in your personal cyber toolkit.
So when you boil it all down, everything we've discussed today, right? From the Melilla attack, the importance of your DNI, those huge data breaches, it all comes back to one thing.
Data.
Your data. How it's gathered, stored, protected, or sometimes how it isn't.
Ultimately, it really is about responsibility, both collective and individual. We need to be aware of where our data is going, proactive about managing our digital footprint.
And maybe not be afraid to use these new tools like AI to help us protect ourselves.
Absolutely. Use the tools available. Remember, it's that endurance race. We're all running it, whether we realize it or not.
Okay, time for your final provocative thought. As our digital lives and our physical lives become more and more tangled up, practically inseparable, what new ethical lines do we need to draw around data? And maybe more importantly, who should ultimately be responsible for protecting it?
That's the big question moving forward.
Something for you all to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Stay curious, stay informed, and please stay safe out there.